We get Harbor.
Way back, maybe in
Wait, how are G gonna plant?
The job of both Viper and
Okay,
the
but
Sage
this
because of the
this
cove,
comp
it gives you a little
does,
bit of that safety,
to an extent,
even though
work,
there are
and
the
maybe
changes
you
that
would
happen on
argue
the
that
B
it
side
got a
even
little
before,
bit of a buff
this
because of
current
how
change.
B
You
works and the
still
fact that you
have
can
to
actually
have
take
some
back
form of
map
safety when you
control.
plant that spike,
But
and if
this
you don't have a
comp
gecko,
is going to
you need
struggle to
something keep
plant,
that planter safe, and the
but
cove is
you
one of those
can have the
abilities that
KO
just
flash
does
people
that.
through. So it's not the end of the world.
Sticking in
It's
with
just
the
going to be a
KO
little bit
here
hard for them on
Global.
attack.
It seems like they're really going to be relying on this one, so I'm curious to see if Russ is going to be able to pilot into more success here on Icebox.
All right, let's go into the Arctic Icebox. We're going to over Caster's Quack and William. Who's it gonna be?
Thank you very much, Chubby Ninja, Aster Ryan, Achilles. I have no
Okay,
idea who it's going to be.
Zeta
It does
on
feel a little
defense,
bit
GE
chilly,
on
though,
attack.
because
Okay, so
Zeta's
GE
looking
start on
cold
attack. So
today.
no
But yeah, I
no
am wondering
Sage,
about that KO.
no Harbor,
Yeah,
no
GE
even like
seems to
Gecko
really
to help
want
them
to
plant.
focus
So
on the double initiators.
over
I
towards
know we're
B,
just 2 maps
need
in,
to be
but
pushing
I
through
get
this,
it.
or at
It
least
does
taking
seem
the
to suit what
angles.
they wanna
Maybe
do,
pushing
right?
towards
Get the
Snowman
info,
sometimes as
then
well
go
if
for
they
the
do
call, then
struggle
have
to
these
plant.
set plays.
If you're
That's a
Zeta,
nice
you just
idea,
never
but
let
if
them
everyone
plant.
else is still
Don't
going
really
for
have
double
to fight
controllers
aggro
in some
here,
of
but
these
again,
maps,
it's so fun to
especially
throw
on
it
a
in,
map like
pissed around
Icebox,
every so often.
curious how this attack's gonna be, because at the end of the day, you're gonna need to get those frags.
And on the other hand, for Zeta, too, I mean, this
I
competition
mean, knife goes in, hits
what
2.
TRX did
Not entirely
before
sure if they
the
saw the
past.
guy at the back, but
So,
pressure over
going
towards
in
here,
on
and
the
we are just
defense
playing
now,
retake
already committing
over
the
towards
high
A.
tide. It blocks
We're playing
off.
retake, but without the
That pushes
cove.
Global Esports into A, where, well, Laz
Okay.
is kind of hiding and waiting. The turret is up and ready. Russ is kind of
But
tagged
they're
up
gonna
at the
flank,
beginning
so
of the
that doesn't
toxic
matter.
screen.
Okay, and we're all
But,
good.
wow, we're just
It's a
setting
good
up
plant
for
over
retake.
towards Heaven.
Trying to use the
Order the
lineup,
after plant
but it doesn't
positions
quite
in. We
connect.
do spot one,
Very
potentially
fast
2 on the
flank, though.
after
Now
plant.
they
Are they
were
going to push
spotted.
over towards
GE
spawn?
knows
Nice
they have to
reaction
push
from
out, and
GE. It's a
Povey's
good
gonna
call
open
from
things
them.
Okay, Povey's always good for some shots. Gets the first one, now wraps back around screens. He wants to hold this position, because if he does, then it holds Zeta up for just another second. Laz, though, up
Yeah, if Laz can
around
get
the
this extra
Raptors
kill,
side, he goes back down and picks
I
off
think
Russ.
GE needed to
Oh,
carry
Russ
on
from the
pushing.
top now. Sugar Zero landing some shots. A bit of a distraction. It allows for the rest of Zeta to corral and push
Yeah,
up
okay,
into the
so
site.
I
Blaze being able to get
complimented
one,
like
but
the
not
instant
for
reaction
long
to
until
push, but I
Laz takes
needed
him out.
more of a commitment.
Zeta
They
with
saw
pistol.
numbers
That hop
behind.
over
I'm not
for
sure. I
Jeff is
think
one
they
thing,
saw
but
2. And then the
something
call
else you're
came in to
noticing
take some
here
map
on that
control, but
retake, so Zeta
they
commits to the
didn't
retake
fully
early on.
commit.
Obviously,
Right,
back
Laz was
out of
just
A site.
allowed
Once
to
the
just
flank
duel
is up,
everyone on
then
his own,
Laz suddenly
and they
says,
needed
"You know
to
what, we
kill
don't
him,
wanna
get map
push
control,
for
go
Masters
Heaven,
just yet, because
etc.
they're gonna
And then it's a
consider
different
pushing
round.
out, especially
Yeah, we
once
needed
Povey gets
commitment
the
out
first
here.
kill. So he just wants to stay alive. Now it's the main force that pushes back in, makes an opening for Laz. Lots of good bouncing back and forth, and of course, clean shots for
So
Sugar
I
Zero
think the
as
instant
well.
reaction
Another
was good.
pistol
Like they
on the
definitely
board
grouped
here in
together
the
like they
very
were
first
gonna
round
push.
for
They just
Zeta.
didn't fully commit.
Very nice and tempered kind of aggression. But
We
Povey with the
Force again.
outlaw
we
now,
have
wow.
forced into
force.
this.
Well, let's see what
We
he can do
force
with it.
Outlaw, no
I mean, I don't
armor,
mind a force
Guardian,
if
no
it works,
armor.
right? So
But then Benkai has armor, but he has a
You got the outlaw.
man.
I mean, that's another weapon you have to consider for force buys now.
What?
Doesn't want to show that he has it, and
But Benkai gets heavy armor, but then he only
Well,
has
bit of
a.
noise,
I
it
mean,
just
what a
makes,
shot! Fair play.
Laz think for a second,
Who
did
needs
they go
armor
under
when you're
the
hitting
two?
that?
But, well, guess not. It's gonna be Povey with a shot into Laz instead. Clean head tap, and that weakens mid. With that now, a rotation pulled over from Hirodon, and it's going to be Global Esports slowly creeping up towards A.
yeah, the thing is now you don't have the killjoy either, so a
Oh
lot
my
of
good,
that retake
Chris.
capability of clearing out corners with something like the Nano Swarm no longer an availability.
Well, similar from before, they let them have the site.
Knife's nice though,
Great,
so
but
it means that we
still
get no
expect
shock dots over
goes
towards
down.
here. Dude, G actually looking in a solid
Best
position at the
flush on
moment.
flank.
Double
It's a
Molly,
force buy,
Molly
Zeta
as
knows
well.
that, so
Double
one for
shock
three,
dart for the
not
defuse.
necessarily
Mate,
in their
they
favor.
win this. What do we got? A little cove. That's the
No.
only savior right now.
Povey's still favoring this outlaw.
Povey,
Shot
Povey
forward.
is
Goes
wrecking
in for
them.
the reload. A blind
Does not
attempt,
need
tries
armor.
To hop over to stay alive, but then Russ just guns him down with the
Huge
stinger.
risk.
4 shots, 4 kills.
Massive
for
reward.
Povey with the new weapon, the outlaw.
Povey
Doesn't
takes
need to
down
fire twice to get
4.
a shot if it's always a headshot. Great showing.
I think,
from
okay,
the duelist
chat,
pickup
as much
for
as we've
Global
seen some
Esports.
madness, I do think that this has some legs. Like, there's
Has the
definite,
angle
there's
from
a
the
definite
Oh,
buy
that was
once
okay.
you
He was already
lose
damaged up, and that's
the
again
round
one of the
before, knowing
strengths
that
of
most
the
people are going to
Outlaw
have
as
light
well.
armors
Good
if they're doing
flash
this
from
thing where
Russ,
they
too.
kind of prioritize
Just as quick. That
guns.
is
Yeah,
lovely.
guns in terms of, like,
As we move
light
forward
armor
into the next
guns,
round now, of course, economy for
where the
Zeta not
outlaw
gonna
can
look
just
too
farm a
great.
little
Povey
bit.
just
So I
looking
think that
to
does have some legs. I don't think
Sound
that this
off
buy
even
was the
more
best
shots. A
example
bit
of it,
information
but
being retrieved
I
by
think there's some
Blaze King,
potential
and
there.
it pushes Zeta back.
Honestly, I think this is the best gun to give off warning shots in
Tries to grab
Valorant.
traps.
It's very loud. The base is very deep.
And it just instills.
But it was
fear.
risky.
And look at
But
how
only
much
because the
space they
outlaw
got
should
off of
farm.
that warning
Again, I
shot.
think the
It's almost
outlaw, a lot
scarier
of
than
it
an
just
operator
becomes
when you
like
just listen to
anti-strat
it.
tool in terms of
Welcome
different
to
stuff
the
that could be
Wild West,
viable
baby.
against teams
Any young
if
cast
they
say,
do
yo,
tendencies of their buy in this that
Asterix
way.
will appreciate that one. Anyway,
Big
Toxic
duel over
screen
towards A
down,
going
and
down.
It's going to be Global Esports just trying to play it safe
And
because they know
Depp
that any
takes
of
him
these
down with a
pistols
classic.
could
That
be
is a
lurking
gun.
right around
Up
the
drafts
corner.
up, gets
Benkai
it.
getting caught out by Depp. Not what you want to have happen as Depp picks up that Spectre.
Yeah, with that snake bite down, they know that Russ not quite waiting in the default position.
And we might
Last
see the
great
issue
shot,
of
so
this
is Duran.
comp,
they're all
which
peeking
is
out at the
how
same
the hell
time.
do we
One shot,
plant?
one kill.
I need to see their POV on that one. Now it's going to be lightning fast with nothing but a stinger, 4 barrels staring down right at him.
30 seconds left.
Goes in for a bit of a quick peek, takes down the first player, tucks back around, 20 seconds remaining, and he has to kind of either go in for, well, at this point, you just kind of got going for all the kills.
And this is one of those situations where, I mean, sure, you had one outlaw, but you've got these stingers in hand. And when it comes to the B site,
What happened? I mean, they couldn't plant, and then they decided they wanted to fight with wall down. And honestly, it feels like the sheriffs just hit
I believe, was
shots.
also picked off in the middle of the round, so not
Maybe
much
we
of a
get a
chance
little
to
replay
rotate to A.
to shed some light on it.
Things fall apart. They already had to commit to the plant. They fake it off the snake bite, try to draw them out into closer range, and they're just prepared. Wow. I mean, this just about shuts down everything. This is why they come into the
Oh, that
B
is a
side.
huge recon. Damn, the
Peaks
recon
right
got them
as the screens
3.
Go down. Very well done from Zeta Division.
Does give
Yeah,
you an idea of
Recon
what
got
both
them
teams are
3.
capable of. Benkai sometimes looking for these lurks, but at the same time,
So,
my
okay, the
goodness,
Thrifty
this
Madness
week
is
from
kind of
Zeta
finished.
Division.
We still have a weird buy
So
from
Eco
Zeta at
off
the
of
moment.
Ecos, we got the Thrifty win right back in.
Molly goes deep over towards here,
Now
stops the
Zeta's
peek,
got
potentially
the
kills the turret if
rifles
it
and
is here as well.
Is that an outlaw and
Knife
hero
goes
run?
over
It's gonna
towards
be
B,
a
hits
full buy from
1.
Global Esports, though.
And
somehow
who is this sending it?
Yeah, so
Damn.
Zeta's trying to make this back into their bonus, right? Picking up the weapons that their opponents dropped in that last
Oh
round.
man, weird round.
We'll see. I mean, because they have the capabilities.
Oh, just a bit of a swing.
And the
though.
tag on well. Damn.
Even
Damn,
more
dude, he
tags,
took
and
the
now
risk
lightning
over towards
fast,
middle. He's absolutely owned
proving
it.
that he is that dreamer from South
Yeah, a
Asia.
little bit of a risk on this one on the
Peeks
big
out,
buy,
picks
but
up the
pays off
triple,
massive.
And all of a sudden, Zeta Division are left wanting more.
And this type of turning up the tempo, this is going to benefit GE a lot, right? Because given their compositions, given their tendencies, a lot of people are going to start to assume, okay, you're going to wait to creep up, go for a set play. It's things like these deep lurks. And these
Yeah, I mean,
other
honestly, I
ideas that
like the
different tempos that
confidence.
really
Good
start to
sign.
play a macro game of Valorant against your opponents.
Yeah, because it's just like you had a bit of pressure towards B from earlier on, and then you also always thinking Benkai might lurk around corners sometimes, and we can't just always leave Depp to deal with him. Meanwhile, on the other hand, off of the next round, Global Esports just goes in for that mid play, and that's something that Zeta, hasn't really defended all too well. Remember the previous round where Polvi picked up that quad kill. So, Zeta has a bit of thinking to do.
And I like that Lightning Fast just commits early towards screens as well, right? Because you can't really lurk as efficiently into Kitchen anymore with that window available. His team already creeping up into the site. They make the call, of course, as they're jumping in with the drone, that, okay, site is empty.
I think
so Lightning
Viper
Fast
Harbor is
knows
also good for
that
Breeze, yeah.
That was John Big behavior.
John
Yeah,
Wall.
for sure, it's good.
Oh, right. I mean, it was a Vandal. It wasn't quite a pistol that we're looking at, but it was a great lurk there. Gets the 444 himself.
Okay, Polvi has knives.
Very
Flash
nicely
deep.
done. Now we've
Flash
got
deep with
Polvi
the
on
recon as well.
Bladestorm.
Keep an eye on the
Looking to
Viper.
open things up
Huge
towards
jaw.
A. Zeta
Dude, Depp
definitely wanting to
is.
back off of this. But what's curiouser is Lightning Fast with this lurk up around Hut.
Oh, he's buying so much time in Benkai.
Oh no.
Benkai with the backup comes out from the other side of the map.
Things just start to fall apart for Zeta Division. Not getting the right reads, peeking into lurks, and at the same time not quite able to make this retake happen just yet. I think they're opting for that save. But
Yeah,
while
and
you're
keep an
going
eye on
for
Lightning
that,
Fast. He is.
Lightning Fast
Fast.
is trying
He
to hunt
is.
it down. Wow, okay, that's John Wick.
Wait, did they hear him?
I mean, this is,
No, I
he's
don't
going
think so.
deep. He's going on a solo
he's on
mission, just
enemy
picking up
territory.
frags. He needs 2 more. If he gets 1 and dies, he still gets a Viper's
Dude.
Pit as well. It's not a bad
It's
bad
a good
shout.
pick.
It's 1. I mean,
Now-
eco damage already
He's
done.
actually
Falls
everywhere,
back,
to be fair to
allows
him.
for Polvi, who is on the Bladestorm, to go for a little bit more. Just now playing off
Okay,
of the
and I
two-minute
think going
check. They
down
won't
there
take
is
those
good
shots
for him
away.
because he gets
All
all
right, now we've
their
got
money's out
lots
of
of plot.
control
That's time
anyway.
to save.
Sort of fine.
Yeah, we got mighty close to that lockdown here from Laz as well. But hey, damage done to the economy a little bit. Vipers
My only
also
criticism
picked up
again
by
over
Lightning
towards
Fast.
ZETA,
I think you see
and
it on his
it's
face, like, okay, maybe
another
that was a little bit
another
too
like
much, right?
tactical
Once we
one.
didn't get the
I
counter piece,
just
but,
don't.
you know, the teammates are there
I
as
just
well,
think
and
they
that's
have a
something they're gonna notice with
really
Global Esports, is that
okay.
obviously this
Back
team,
to
the
back at the
comms are
moment, I
good.
feel like they have a
They're
really
all
bad
players who are used to
understanding of
calling
what
and
the
sharing
other
ideas,
comp
leading the team in one way or another.
struggles to do. You look at
Lightning Fast
GE's comp right
enjoying the
now,
time on
they
this team.
have
He
no
talked about
Sage Wall,
how he wanted
so
to be
they
part
struggle
of
to
the
plant
main
over
roster. He
towards
wanted
B.
this chance
You don't have
on
to
the
carry on
stage
doing this push fight
consistently.
over towards
The team
B.
has now
You
put
just
the
let them
trust
have
in
the
him
control
to be
until
that
they prove
representative
that they
here
can
for
plant
Global
B
Esports
or
for
take
South
map
Asia.
control
You're
like
going to be
deep
part of the
B.
main roster. You're
You
on
just
stage
have to delay
every
on B
single
and just
time.
try and just
How
kill them
long
as they
can
go
help
for the
extend
plant.
tournament life
Like I would
in a setting
literally,
like
if I'm
kickoff?
GE right here,
think he's
just
gonna set it
prioritize
pretty
having
well.
an
I mean,
Odin over towards
off
Snowman,
of
and they
this
can just
map,
never
that
plant in
performance
theory.
from round 2 and so on
Like
and
that's
so
where I
forth
will be at until they flash
is
push me Snowman.
definitely
So this
showing
whole
us
thing
that
where
he is back.
ZETA have decided for a game plan to push
But at the
close
same
B
time,
or
though,
like
for
push
Zeta, I
behind
mean,
makes
this was
no
their
sense
map
for me.
pick. The
And
start
again,
is
if I'm being
not
critical
great.
over towards Bind, how they played
It
the
just
defense
feels
on
as
that
though, although
against
this
the
is a
solo
different map,
smoke
the
made no
ideas
sense to
from
me.
the previous one definitely stay intact,
Fighting
and
early
Global
and giving them the
Esports are
jewels when we could have just like
really
even
trying
just
to
a
figure out how to
DRX
play off
smoke
that
on
pacing.
Yeah,
the
I mean, this is
plant
Global
and just
Esports
hold
just
heavy
getting a good read
showers,
on the first
you're gonna
couple
win
rounds
every
of
single
Zeta's
round.
tendencies, right? They leave
So
A
I
site
don't
open, then they go for the
really,
retake. It's a
I really
pretty
think
heavy
right now
flank
I'm a
coming out
little bit
from
worried
each
in terms of
side.
how ZETA are
GE is
approaching
starting to get very well
the
aware of that. Of course,
weaknesses
the
of
force buy
GE's
helped
comps.
kind of even out the rounds
I don't
early
think
on
they
as
need to.
well.
This whole
So
game
I
plan of
like
fighting
this
early B
timeout,
does not need to
'cause
happen.
now Zeta should
It should
have
be
some
delay
other
over
ideas
towards
in the
B.
works, and it's going to be a push
Heavy
out down
priority on
two.
Snowman or just someone over towards here, Viper Molly.
Okay, that's something different. Bit of that Vandal play, but they gotta stay hidden well enough to make it happen. Global Esports may be anticipating such a push as well, so just creeping up onto A site. The 0 point clears out the entire thing. Nobody's here. We get a free plant.
Yeah, now you know, okay, site's empty again. Surely it's another retake coming in from both sides of the site. Ovi, that did hurt a bit more than you wanted.
Still good for the time being. He manages to hold his position, and crucially, this angle on towards Rafters,
Yeah.
because that's where Laz wants to be.
And Zeta, this time they're not flanking early, right? They're just putting that pressure in that this is what we always do. They're looking to go in with the main force.
Oh, trying to switch things around, but still, Polvi holds his ground.
And
Manages to
Polvi's-
gun down two.
Polvi's doing good
flank coming
gun-wise.
through, but not quite
I've-
for long. Lightning fast trades out death.
Okay,
And
now
then
I'd be
comes Huron
tempted to
from the
ult.
front. Null command
We've got
sussed
Cove
out-
as well on
sussed
this
out
one.
position. But
Cove
then
is
you
ready.
still gotta deal with
Candace
Benkai and
insta
Lightning
Cove.
Fast. I don't know how much the Cove can do because they haven't quite tapped the spike yet. Those
yeah.
lineups.
Yeah, the
they
thing is we
are
could
making
never really
it
push on
work.
this one.
You're unable to pick up one more,
Yeah,
but then that's
nicely
about
done
it.
with this.
Sugar
Okay,
Zero running
it was
away,
just a low
holding
buy.
onto the rifle.
Now I
It's
need to
Global
see
Esports 4-2.
ZETA have a
the
good
KO
understanding what's
utility
going on.
coming in handy as well. Obviously,
See, yeah,
Zeta
walking
Division
onto
not
A,
able to
getting a
activate
free
their
plant.
abilities for a long time. They had to fight through that retake.
Surely this can't happen.
Couldn't set up for something like a Cove
They need
stick
to
the
they need to
half
switch up how they're
and
doing this.
pressure
It's
a little
a
bit further against the attacking team.
It's not a
I mean,
great game
Polvi
plan
getting
at the
those
moment.
first two kills as well. You love the energy from this team. I mean, surely they will continue to release some comms throughout the year, and it is great to listen. They've got such good energy across the board.
Two names really stand out right now, Lightning Fast and Polvi. The snake bite, the opening frags. What more could you want? Zeta is the one that has to catch up to it, and right now they're trying to put up the roadblock up around pipes. Laz able to get the first one, but not for long until
Crispy.
Huron arrives. Guns down with
Damn,
the line
crispy.
towards Russ, and
much
that
better
picks up
though.
the third
Fighting
onto
over
Lightning
towards A.
Fast.
I would maybe
Blaze
prefer
King cannot do all
Viper
too much
and
now as
Harbor
he's
to
up on
switch,
top
but
nest.
I'll take this.
I mean, this crazy aggression from Zeta. Laz pushing out all the way up front, and then Depp just trying to bounce around and draw all eyes on him. He dashes out, and they just do not suspect yet another member like Huron hiding right around the corner, able to hold his aim for a triple. That should stabilize things. That's a fourth kill as well for Huron, climbing right back into the game. Hunter's Fury available for him to counter out and maybe push them back out in the next round too.
Now we can play retake. Still though.
I mean, this is just, they got a sight of him, but at that point it was a little too late. He was still ready for it too. I mean, the first double kill, very good discipline. And these are the moments we saw from him in just a couple rounds during the offseason as well. Very sharp shooting when he's in the zone.
That's what we
Okay,
need
we got
to
two
see from
people
Zeta
low.
as
Well,
well.
honestly,
I mean, you
3
gotta
people
fight
low
fire
mine.
with fire sometimes, and maybe the answer was just to really get a good read for where Global would push out and then to peek off against that. But here it
Chad, does
comes
the turret
off
see
of those wins from before.
window
Global
from there?
picks up
It's
the
kind of
operator.
nice.
Polvi is in a damn good position. Here's the Aldrin, wants to shoot it down. But nothing doing for the time being.
Yeah, ZETA heard the op too, though, right? That's why they're not giving him the time of day. They just say, keep him trapped in mid. A, we've still got utility from Killjoy to get information to hold a little bit of time. B, you've still got the double controllers. The patience coming in handy, but problem being, they haven't ever retaken under tube or into tube. So this is something that ZETA will have to keep in mind of the entire time.
Just trying to stay hidden. They don't want to give out too much. And meanwhile, for Global Esports,
Trying to do a fake
they've
over
managed
towards
to get
B.
openings before because they always put a bit of pressure. And
Say
with mental
fake, it doesn't look
conditioning,
like
they pull some of
much
these defenses away, but this time,
sound
without
has
the
been
opening
made. The
pick,
problem is this early
that
alarm
Paul
bot is
was
going to get
definitely
so
looking
much
for.
info.
They're going to take a little bit of time. There's 30 seconds left, Will.
Yeah, they have to go in. There's the alarm bot. Now you know it's
Yeah, a
going
little bit of a
on.
nightmare. We do have Killjoy. Could just run back
Fantastic
screens and do
fight on
Killjoy.
either
You
side.
have
I
enough
say as
time
they
to
eat the
rotate
knife.
if you go now, but they're not going to.
Gotta commit, and it is time, but Les just stops you in the nick of time as well. Here comes Depp with an operator of his own, and guess what? The Reckoning committed too. 13 seconds, and this has to be a save.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, just got to make sure that you're keeping...
I'll take the orb, why not?
Yeah, you got to keep up that operator, build towards
This
that play
was a
circle as
little bit
well, 'cause you're not
unfortunate for
looking too
GE
healthy.
in terms of just the alarm bot being
But a
here
save,
so
I
early.
mean, you got trapped in mid, and then at that point, this really comes down... I
Like,
think,
if
to
the
ZETA
alarm bot
also to
isn't
say,
here,
have
we probably
no
fake B at a
information,
good time,
so
the
instead of
rotate
trying to
probably
creep
comes
back
in, and
out,
this
we
actually
have
looks a
all
lot
these
better
ultimates
than
for
it
the
was.
retake, right?
So
You have the
I felt like
retake,
this was just a
let's
small
actually
thing in
group
terms of
up
the
and
alarm
make
bot
sure we're
being
not getting
aggro,
flanked
which is obviously
at any
good
point
from
through mid.
ZETA.
Multiple members
Just
watching different angles in mid. You got
making this
Killjoy
look
and
a
Army
little
Utility
bit
blocking off the
awkward.
main entrances, and then they say as soon as the alarm bot rings,
I don't think it
send
was
the
as
recommend.
bad
They
as it
don't have enough
looked.
time because if they're rotating, we still have members still anchoring down on
But I
B.
also didn't see the pressure that
Global,
the B
good
players made, so
timeout.
I don't know for
Trying
sure.
to say, okay, this mid pressure, unless we get the first pick, it's not working. How else do we adapt from that?
Hence the timeout, so it's gonna have to be a bit of a question for Coach Spin and Big Time. But apart from that, at the same, it's also ZETA Division. I mean, it's just I
Not
like
unfortunate.
their
I mean, they
composition.
found
It's
the
1v6
turret
utility, but the Reckoning
towards.
does so much.
The
And-
thing is,
and
they
now
found the
with
turret
Laz's kills
towards
coming through, you're cycling through some
bottom of
ultimates. He's
mid.
got another lockdown for a good retake
So
or
then you
two.
would probably think
It's,
from that the
It might
just
be ZETA coming on the up
position
and
wise,
up.
actually, honestly, position wise,
Yeah,
the
there's a
alarm bot could
reason
still be
this
over
was the
towards
comp that started to really
on the
rise up
tube, I
once
guess.
a couple of teams showed it off, you know, like the DRX, because it's basically the harbor for the stage, right? But now you have a little bit more flexibility. It's not just force the plant, then hold for post-plant lineups. You've got a little more of a different way to inch forward, take the map over piece by piece. And GE, they're the ones who are experimenting today. We'll see if they have finally figured out the answer, cracked the code enough to force a shift in the meta.
It would work better if, you know, maybe some of these initiators can open things up for Polvi, because we are looking for Polvi to get that opening pick. Still has the operator, and now rears his sights towards B. Okay. Recon doesn't find much, but it does bait out a bit of a cascade.
Good cascade, actually. So
Very
hard
deep.
to, clear around that.
Don't want to push past it, so that's why they're holding so far back. And in the meantime, ZETA pushes out mid on their own. Doesn't find much though, but it is a good angle for Depp.
Yeah, I mean, Depp could stay, or yeah,
Can't
they could
believe they're
back out,
fighting
'cause
over
that
towards
being GE,
B.
If they want any variation, they're gonna have to take
Here.
time to take over mid.
Here.
And ZETA, they're actually just banking on the fact that this is going one way or another. The Recon's not gonna find anything. Surely this gives the call.
Oh.
And Benkai as well. Surely this gives the call over to focus onto yellow.
Yeah, they're like, that's the lurker. We can rotate now. That's what they're doing. Snake bites out from Euron. A bit of a jiggle.
I mean, this is literally what GE want.
They know exactly what's
Yeah,
about to
they'll take
happen.
this
The
all
goal trying to play
day.
off at the shorty
They've
of the
comped
swing,
the
but
struggles
not
to
quite.
plant,
The
and you
shot
just
to
gave
make
them the
work.
jaws.
Blaze
Man,
King,
ZETA
Polvi, they
are
are gunning
messing
down
this one
ZETA.
up.
Laz,
How-
however,
why are they playing B
manages
like
to pick
this?
up one from mid, but that's all he can really
With a
do. The
Harbor and
angle
a
being held
Viper.
down by Polvi. Hunter's Fury being committed, but ooh, the ultimate's not really well timed enough,
There you
and still.
Okay, I mean, GE
aiming
will
down
take
his
GE will
sights.
take this all
One
day.
shot through the engine block.
All
Global
day.
Esports 5-4.
I mean, a great round coming out from GE. You bait out the first piece, couple pieces of utility, then you cut all contact. You had the turret watching for mid as well. So it gets contact. You don't see it get broken right away. There's no further push, so you have to presume, of course,
What's
that
the
then you hear the
Killjoy
upshot as well,
ulti
that it's
there?
going to be
Oh
the operator
man,
coming through.
I'm so worried.
Still on the lurk on A.
Don't know if I'm more worried for
Making sure
Zeta
that
after
Zeta
watching
gets
a lot of
split
this
up.
as
It's
well.
a good read. Try to readjust to what Zeta's doing. So now Zeta a new look. It's going to be the
Like
stack
GE is,
onto A.
even the comp with GE is fine. Like
That's good.
all I want to see from GE to give me a bit of faith is eventually once they get shut down over towards B that they can push Snowman and then we kill this guy and then I go okay cool, they actually have like, they understand that they need to have that in their arsenal to be able to plant B. They don't even have to prove that they have it.
Okay, nice peek around out of the nest.
Very quick, but now has to back up. Meanwhile, the rest of Global's forces are actually trying to suss out the positioning towards B. Toxic Screen gives them that much more space to work with.
And a good hold on that utility from Sugar Zero as well. That Cascade wasn't going to get any value, so you so you just want to make sure.
Oh.
This is way better though. I'm looking over towards here. We've got a smoke up. We got double. Got double mollies.
Also with Huron and the angle
And
around mid too. So
do we get hit by the knife? Is that why we can't molly? I'm pretty sure that's right.
Position themselves around the site. Now that it's surrounded. Now
But
that it's a
this,
little bit more
what
clear,
happened right here
Huron
should be
looking for
happening
quick
every
peeks,
single
takes down
time. We need to keep an
lightning
eye on
fast.
Benkai. He's going for the biggest flank in the world.
Oh,
And
that's
honestly,
logic
Benkai
too.
can actually win this.
they're waiting
As
for it, but
long
now they know they
as
have
Blaze
numbers
King can
advantage,
somehow
trying to
stay
force the
alive.
defuse.
How is he spotted? Here comes Ben. Oh,
He was a
no.
little bit
And
forced with
Laz
the
just
pressure
turns
of the
around at
cove.
right
But
time. Defuse comes in. Let's get it over to Huron.
he kind of sent it a little bit as well. If I'm
Two more
Benkai
rounds
here,
to
I'm
go.
trying to tell him to
On a
just stay
tightrope,
alive.
both these teams
Maybe
bouncing
he
back
was
and
scared
forth
that there was a
across the two
flank as
maps.
well. I'm not sure.
And quite frankly, neither of them looking dominant on their own map pick either. Of course, GE lost their pick of Bind. You know, had another double initiator comp on that first map. They brought it out here as well, just trying to change things up. But I mean, are you cooking or are you just dawdling around in the kitchen? Because so far we're not finding the answer. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to shift metas, and a lot of times the frags have to follow up. Now this time, I would say they're starting to fire up. Polvi leading the scoreboard in the server. But it's not enough just yet.
Always that challenge of like old and new ideas. Old spice or new spice? Still, Will is absolutely right. Polvi has been showing up, but we still need more to see that dominant lead. Because it isn't that dominant lead, both teams are actually adjusting to each other really
Dude, if Sugar
well.
Zero
And
plays
we're
Snowman
seeing
this
how they
much,
play
why would you not
back
buy
and
an
forth in
Odin
terms
to
of
spam
space.
the extra
Still
corner
have
where they
Huron as well as
plant?
Sugar Zero defending that B site. These walls are doing
All
so
goes
much.
in, but at least they now
You
are
have so much
playing
time right
to
now,
delay.
you still know that no one's pushed out from mid.
And then do
or
they
A,
have
not
it
too
flash
far
in?
away.
Okay, they at least have it in their arsenal.
Oh, if he gets
So
the
that is
kill.
good to know. That is good. Dude, I actually
still
have a
loses
bit of
control
faith for GE
Snowman,
on
though.
this
If
map
they held
for
control
sure.
of Snowman, either you plant the lurk there,
Like
or
at least
you try to
they have
force away
everything
all
that
the way around
you
the
need
pit,
to with
but
this
now-
comp from
Oh,
back in the day.
Very well focused.
Yeah, Depp always holding his own out towards the A side, especially with that operator. But the other thing is also just Huron and that Viper's Pit. It covers up just enough that he can actually peek out and take down whoever peeked out Snowman.
30
I think
seconds
that's
left.
kind of the idea. And now with that space, Depp repositions, tries to land the shot. Not quite connecting though. This might allow for Global Esports to get that spike down.
And both teams are so aware of the potential lurks as well. I mean, they've kind of bitten each other in the back a couple times in this first half. Wow. But now it's just a main force pushing through.
You get a little bit paranoid, but now all you got to do is watch the front. Lightning fast,
If
definitely
Blaze King
does.
gets a
Goes in
kill,
for that jitter
he has
peek,
ult.
but it doesn't quite work out. Last that much more decisive, just goes in for the shot. Now
Not
they are aware that Blaze King is up on top of Belt. Good peek though, but not quite enough
I mean,
to gun down the second target.
it was a
So
nice try in the
Zeta
2v4.
goes up ahead.
Wall blocks
Yeah,
vision.
and it was Laz holding that defuse from the box as well. So Blaze King just trying to think that it's through the screen. He can't see them already posted up into the top of the site. But unfortunately, it's just the beanie from Killjoy showing
Just
up.
a beanie.
You got to watch out for that beanie. You got to make sure it's pressed all the way down on your head.
Yeah, flushed all the way.
Yeah, you
If
don't get
not-
you don't get fashion points in Valorant.
It's not just fashion. It peeks out over the top of some obstacles.
Is their
Force up
comp good for
Cody
defense?
though.
The
Nah,
GE
not
comp?
really.
Yeah, it's kind of nice
6
over
and
towards
5,
A,
that's
especially
the
when you
main
can flash
thing.
through your wall.
And again, it's just how they play back.
Again,
and forth
the
in
only
terms
thing
of
that the
space.
GE comp struggles
Global
with,
tries to
like
pull
this is a
some of the
legit
attention
comp,
away on
it
the
just
other
struggles with the B
front
plant,
and
and most
Zeta.
people would just
But Zeta stays
punish them
united
over towards B.
and back into the
It
A
did worry
side.
me
The sudden
big time that we
change of
didn't see
pace, a
anything
quick
like that.
execute off of the null command. Russ picks up his value. Polvi now with that space goes in and finds another frag. This is Polvi not just creating space, he is actually fragging out. Oh, no, but lined up. They hesitated for a second.
It was a
The Cubs
bold
just
play
bring
by
down, the
him though.
Cloudburst
Get
comes
two
out, but now,
people,
of
yeah.
course,
Even
they have
though,
to detain.
even though we got a lot, it
Okay,
might
allows for
save a
Benkai
kill.
to go a little bit greedy. Picks up one, knows to pull back. Spike planted. How do you retake, Zeta?
Cove and double cascade at the ready. Now you got double structure and nano swarm as well, but GE not backing out.
Oh, they're not using util. Setting up a bit of a crossfire between 410 and the boxes. They know where Laz is. Here comes
Love
that
it for
Cove.
Blaze King.
One enemy remaining.
And he's so good on these timed peaks. Benkai off of it as well, just to watch his friends back. We tie things up 6-6 at the end of the half.
Yeah, the nano swarm already being there, a nice piece of utility that gets them that passive info if they do shoot it. He shoots it, and Blaze King actually moves around the box. He knows one's on the spike, but instead of saying, I'm gonna peek, you know, try to get him right as he goes for the tap, he just says, okay, surely it's a fake, because if not, I've got my teammate Benkai able to swing out on a timing on the 4 seconds, hides away, sees the Cove come back up, and then he walks right back in. Blaze King, this is why he gets a lot of those clutches that he's always had in SEA.
Exactly on Boom Esports. Now on Global Esports, showing us what he's capable of. A lot of Indonesian talents in VCT Pacific, and Blaze King is just one of them. I mean, he's definitely earned his
too old.
spot, and it
That
always
actually
shows
that
true in a lot of
sums it
these,
up.
tiny
Like honestly,
micro
the hero play on
decision-making
site with the
moments.
2 seconds left was
Knowing
pretty
to
good,
push
and then
whenever
kind
the
of
spike
confused
is
why the.
tapped. And sometimes, you
Who's
know,
the
it's
second
also a bit
person
of
that got
confidence.
caught?
Makes you think, like, yeah.
Man, I just I have so many questions, dude. I have so many questions.
Teammate Russ, but Blaze King and Benkai brought things back.
Yeah. Now, with the double
My
initiative
biggest
composition
chat,
Global
my
Esports,
biggest
how do
worry
they wanna play that
out of
defense?
everything I've seen so
Another
far,
map
2
like
worries.
mine, where there's
Okay,
a lot of post-plant
two worries.
utility
More,
lineups,
I'm
a lot
okay.
of
I'm
those
still worried
types
about
of
G's
plays.
bind. I can't get that
So
out
at
of
some
my head.
point, you're gonna wanna at
I'm
least
worried about
pressure
Zeta,
the
4
flank so they
coaches,
can't just sit all the
and
way
they
back.
played
But the
wrong
problem
against
is
the
if you're
single
pushing out
smoke,
with your
and they
initiators,
played wrong over
unless you're
towards B
getting
against
some
a
sort
team
of
with
contact
no
or really just
Sage.
closing the map
That
in
is
half, that
huge
utility
alarm
just- it
bells in
doesn't
my
feel like
head.
it's
Like
bringing home
huge,
as much
huge,
value.
huge.
So,
How on earth is that
yeah, I mean, I'm
happening?
curious what they're going to do. Obviously, in the pistol, it's going to be a stack.
The other thing is also just that they might not push out all too much because it's the 0 point and the recon vault. They can just sit back and, you know, let the utility gather a bit more information from them and then try to, you know, make guesses off of that. Obviously not the safest. But
Sure, so, but that's my point, right, is that you can sit back, but then your retake, if you go for all the flashes, they just hang back, and then you just got to deal with the post plant. So it's this rock, paper, scissors, but Blaze King still on fire from the first half.
Definitely throwing a rock on that first one. Here comes Hiroran.
Pistol's kind of nice though.
Up towards screens, and Zeta has found their opening. Has to gun down Blaze King, turns back around because of depth. And that is that double kill that gives them the sight. Lightning fast tries to.
Pistol's
kind of
nice, though. I'll give them that. There's a nice
doesn't
pistol round.
expect Laz up by the window, man. That new spot up by Icebox is just showing us so much today.
Yeah, we're seeing a couple good looks around it. I think teams around the world starting to show us there's multiple ways to work that. Obviously, the pure threat that you can watch it from Boiler makes it a little harder to dig deep on the attacker side, but then you can still hold from under the
Okay,
window
GE on the
different
eco
angles.
for this.
There's a lot of ways you can use that to just
Okay, we
plant,
got rid of
you
the
know,
bad half, so
seed
this
of
should
doubt
actually be a pretty fun
into
half
the
now.
opponent into the future rounds.
We get
Especially for
Outlaw.
attacking teams too, I
Nope.
think. It's just another additional angle. Makes you
Full eco
think about
again.
the defensive side,
The
like whether or
GE,
not
they
you
didn't
wanna
change too much. They used to do this all the
invest
time
a
anyway.
player to watch that
Outlaw
spot.
doesn't change too much for
On
them.
the other hand, though, right now with the buys,
How
no
much did
force from
the knife
Global.
hit? 4, right?
In
They
fact,
can
they're
keep
just
this
kind of
4-person
putting
stack.
these
This might
unorthodox,
actually
really
work pretty
close
well.
range
It's a shame.
positions.
This was like
And it lines up for depth.
I would
The
love
stack
to have
gets knocked
seen
down.
like what
Sugar Zero,
M8 used to do with this, like a
picking up more
little
kills. It's
KO
all
flash on
down
top.
Again, to
I think it was
Benkai.
M8 used to do this as like a
It's an
a
eco.
pistol or
You
as
do
an
what you have
eco
to
or
do.
something
Those
like
are
that. A little
plays that
KO flash
either
on this
turns
behind
into
yellow.
greatness
That would be
or
really good.
You get lined up.
I don't know, like maybe you just don't peek or like hide or.
Well, you have to go for a timing, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
I think if you're waiting, unless you have like all Buckies and such,
Okay.
They're gonna check. There's no
In
way.
the
right?
end, they got a gun out of them. They got an
Sometimes
armor,
some teams don't,
maybe
and they
2
pay for
armors.
it.
We'll see if this guy
But I
rebuys.
don't mind
Wasn't the
peak.
worst
Here's the
outcome.
thing, you're not supposed to win that round, so you have to throw. If you're going to commit to something like a stack like that, you got to throw a curveball. You got to go for the wild card. And yeah, it looks silly, but sometimes it looks genius. And there's a fine line. There's a fine line, but it's not a round you were supposed to win. So I think those are the times where I don't mind it. You know, you let it pass. Now you got your rifles in hand. These are where GE can start to showcase what do their defaults look like. It's going to be the 2 initiators on one side, the Killjoy and Viper on the other side of the map to anchor.
When you're right, Will. And here comes Polvi. Oh, instant pick off and backs off with the tailwind.
I mean, you already have the numbers advantage. Got control of mid as well.
Might as well let them trickle in, right? Blaze King hearing the footsteps, gets timing on the peak. Sugar Zero continuing to push up front, manages to catch the Rust, but how long can that really work out until Euron? What is the... I can't see that. We managed to find shots with the Guardian of all things. Here come the rest of the players from Raptors though, and they are still peaking a little bit too fast, a little bit too much. It allows for Euron to pick up yet another double. 2 + 2, that equals 4.
That's an absolute nightmare start for GE.
And you see him slowly
Fast
getting
Byrons.
that energy up.
Quick maths.
Yeah, on the stage. I'll leave that up to you. Not going to do any of my own maths here. But a great round from Uran. Oh, Depp smiling as well.
Wait,
we often see him just kind of being zoned in no matter what. But the vibes on ZETA are good.
Oh.
I mean, it's just a wraparound from both teams, right? And that's good movement from Uran because you note that GE is trying to play around your double controllers. They're trying to find the timings into your smokes. So that Uran
nightmare
says,
start for GE on this one.
Continuing to take over space.
2-9 loss bonus.
Up, if you've already gone for your execute,
Got a few kills,
stop the momentum,
so they're sitting
you
around
lose
like
control over the
3K.
entire site. You have to come in at that point, and it's good that he goes for it. You know, maybe the taunt was an overheat. We'll find out after this timeout.
Hopefully. But it's also like kind of nice to see, I mean not last, but ZETA Division taunting a little.
No, it's great. It's great. I mean, I don't think it also wasn't anything too crazy. I like that he's riding the momentum. Both sides, the coaching staff racking their brains. And a map like Icebox, I think it's very difficult for coaches to really pinpoint.
Okay, Arboral 1 away from knives. Anything over towards here? We have Marshall that potentially
gets a little bit more open, and sometimes that's an
can do something.
But at least for this round, we can say with absolute certainty it should be ZETA's pickup. So the timeout being called, invested into future rounds.
Yeah, and GE, they have enough creds on Polvi to go for that operator in the next round as well. So that's something they're going for, right? Even if it's the half armor. Once you get that operator, things get a little easier.
It makes you think, right? Is this Marshall position up on top of Yellow?
I mean, they're going towards the gun.
Condition ZETA into thinking.
Got an opportunity for
the
this.
shot was already picked off. And
We'll see over towards A. I don't think this guy's going to get full
gives
info that
ZETA
they
that much
rotate,
more
obviously,
security.
but they can if they need to. Go back.
Get one
Whoa.
Oh, that is missed the mark.
Right, just a quick reaction to that recon.
Yeah, they're trying to push off of it, distract him. Enough investment. They've pulled the rotations over. Laz might have heard or
so okay. What they wanted to do is the dart that lands behind here that you can't shoot from sight. Right, it lands at the back. It clears yellow, but you can't shoot it from sight. It is a hard recon to hit, in fairness, but it probably should be hitting.
But you can't move from GE's position. I mean, I don't blame GE. This is just Laz making.
Yeah, and this was good from Laz in terms of just taking map control, hearing nothing over towards A, seeing no one peeking, thinking that it might be a stack over towards here, especially as they did the info early over towards B. So yeah, shout out to Laz taking the map control once they did pressure over towards B.
To the mastermind of Carlisle or Junior or Laz. The call from it, Euron with the timing on the Poison Cloud towards mid as well so that Benkai doesn't see anything on the crossing. And they managed to cut noise just enough to clear out the entire site. Now, a full pistol plus 1 Marshall retake, it is near impossible, virtually impossible for Global Esports to win. Whoa, even with the Reckoning too?
Yeah, they really want to secure this one. But again, they don't actually... I can't really blame ZETA for the ult here at all. Again, they think they're going to retake, and you're looking at this, right? You're looking at 3K. They get 2-9 after. Maths-wise, you're thinking they've at least invested something into this. Like, you're not thinking that they're going to just full eco, because why would they? Like,
just
what are they
extend
what are
that
they gonna
lead
do
just
with the
a bit
extra
further.
like
So
1,200 that they're gonna
decisive.
save next?
Again, I gotta say it.
Yeah, it is a
Brand
weird
new
thing.
Zeta
So I really,
division.
on paper, because we can see
Global
their buy,
Esports
that all looks a
dying
little
to
bit
get
weird.
that round loss
But
bonus,
in reality,
but it does,
you kind of
again,
look and you think, well, they've got
extend
light
that
armor
gap.
sheriffs at
4-round
least. It's going to be
differential.
damage. We need to get
How
our
do we
economy
claw our way
good.
back into this? Those timeouts have been spent.
Well, Operator's going to be surely the biggest factor, and it does look like he's going to be a B hold. Whether it's on top or below, that's up to him. And I don't think Zeta's going to be too concerned one way or the other. You're going to have to check that entire lane if you want to put any pressure. The thing Zeta did in the past round, though, is that while it's smart and it's a good round to do it, they plant that threat of the flank, right, the rotate late. So now GE always has to have someone anchoring if they want to go for a stack mid-round.
Well, a bit of a guessing game this time. Zeta not able to retrieve all too much.
This is I mean, it's a great angle to hold on that far angle, but if they're coming out of garage, yeah, that flick is not an easy one. So Polvy's really playing for maximum contact.
Okay, knife
and
goes over
maximum
towards
info.
A, hits one, and they hit us
I
over.
don't know if Zeta's
So
gonna
that's
push
good
all
info
too
at least.
deep
Polvy,
into
whole
the
time hasn't
end,
been pushed
though.
off of this angle. Does
Kind
see
of
one jump
guessing
spotting.
as to the previous rotations,
Misses the
previous
shot.
positions that
Chat, did they
Global
change the
Esports
observer
held.
for Pacific?
So without finding all too much this time, they're kind of assuming and setting up for that execute into A. I don't know if it's the wisest decision.
Yeah, the high tide doesn't cover all of rafters. They have to be aware of that.
Okay, well, the frag's still just as good. Yuran just walks up and takes down Russ. Lightning Fast answers back, though. But look at the positioning from Depp. He's already making it up on top of screens. And with that, Sugar Zero conceals the plant, gets it through. A bit of a wallbang coming out. Doesn't quite connect, but Hiroran's still just as good on the Guardian. Similar to Yuran from before.
Surely you save. I mean, it feels
an
bad,
op.
but yeah, but it feels bad, but you need this op to make anything happen in the future rounds.
Oh, he's going for it. Doesn't know the angle from below. Leg spotted. Okay, now we save.
I mean, I think if you're Zeta, you chase.
Yeah,
You got so
you
many
definitely
traps.
you can
Trap
definitely
him
hunt
in.
this.
Polvy tried to pull a sneaky.
I mean, this is a Zeta who is on the hunt. They are out for blood. They find the shot. Huron's already here. Oh, he heard him.
No?
Well, he was ready for it, but he just wants to run away. Just wants to buy time.
Nah, okay, he's managed to run away.
The greatest escape.
All right, good news is that they saved so much
Oh,
money
well,
from
leads
the
money thing
round
is
when
so-
they
the
had an
one rate of
eco
hope.
and they didn't buy anything
6-11
into it.
has now.
Man, there's so many.
I mean, do you push out with it or?
So many
It's an
questionable
option, but I think
things
it's
right
an
now.
obvious one. And I think there's got to be some sort of stack, some sort of push out, because I mean, if it's just there, okay, they will just buy up with half armors as well. So the operator's still there. So that just means you're still able to hold this one angle. You are going to push out onto pipes, under actually, an over-under setup here with Russ. And at a certain point, surely you shift the weight. Very greedy from GE with Lightning Fast pushed up this far.
Dude,
No
Lightning
one's gonna
Fast,
watch
it is a
Spack.
big hero play.
Just
It
hold
might
the
actually
angle.
pay off. What's the timing like on
He
this?
has no escape. He's going to get one. He gets the spike at the
That's
very
it.
least.
Honestly,
Good heads up duel, good information.
he got good
the
timing. There's a
rotation
chance he
coming
got
through,
two.
But Zeta being able to anticipate these movements.
I
is
think
just
with
so
how everything's
good.
been going, doing something like this is not too bad.
Now with that spike goes down, Blaze King tries to hold it off with the shock darts, but out in the open gets caught out by Deb, who I will not mention with the Blaze Storm. Moving forward now, still the retake's underway. You've got mid, you've got not Snowman any longer, just mid. Benkai tries to open things up. The Viper's Pit committed to secure match point. Do you
If Benkai
still
gets
go
a kill,
through or do you save? I mean, so much to consider.
he gets his ult, and it would actually be
It's
huge.
this or match point. No matter what, you're not going to have a great round the next one, but you're not finding the early picks. It's just not doable anymore.
Polvy's gonna do the same thing, trying to hold on to this operator. Zeta can definitely chase.
DJ Face, thank you so much for the
He
tier
should
1.
be all right.
Appreciate you. Thank you, thank you.
Should have it going off here soon. So the operator stays alive, and Benkai sacrifices himself for a shot at that lockdown. And
Okay,
he'll
6
fill it up.
chances.
But now, you bought up those rifles. Obviously, you had to, because otherwise it's a guaranteed match point. But it's not looking like a great round. You have the lockdown. I mean, as obvious as it can be, yeah, maybe a push out with the operator, go for a lockdown retake.
I think that's the thing. I mean, with the operator, if you're playing defensively and you don't find contact, it just kind of becomes diminishing returns. Right?
Oh, they had just enough.
rounds now.
Yeah, they had just enough to sacrifice a couple utility as well. Just go for the half armors. You got the Hunter's Fury too.
So trying to sack the play, trying to push through, get info, and then fall back, set up for the retake. It's a bit risky, a little bit gambly. Russ tries to stay a second longer to find that tag, but not quite able to make it happen. ZETA very controlled. Getting pinged and then just holding back for a second. Laz now watching mid for any crosses. This is ZETA on a whole new look, whole new level.
Laz is on the move. Lightning Fast heard him. Gets him on the flank as well.
Good pickup, and then depth to come back in. The spike is down. They know they're good. Everyone's in position, not to mention Euron, who is holding such an angle. But good swing off of the recon. Blaze King and Russ managed to shoot them down. Russ trying to dance back and forth. The spike still being defused and held. Benkai able to hold it all the way through. Manages to make use of that space.
6 down to 5.
Okay, so you get the round, but at what cost? Dropping all the weapons
Dude,
all the way to
that's
the
exactly
end.
what I was thinking. However, not heard a shot
Oh.
from Sugar Zero going on here.
You have to buy whatever you can every single round now.
I missed what was
but
going on from his
I mean, you
POV.
can't afford full buys.
No, you can't. I mean, because you barely bought up half armor with full rifles. Now, sure, they'll get Bulldogs and Guardians, but it's one shock dart, no fragment on Russ. Some very crucial things that they would want on a retake.
Well, you do have the Null Command and the Viper's Pit, but how long can you really extend this map? That is the question. 12-7 right now. All ZETA needs is 1. And they are looking mighty decisive. Depp 1 point away from the Blaze
Okay, we
Sword.
got KO.
Space up around yellow.
We got
Timing
potential
peek off of
duel
the
over
recon,
towards middle.
Clears out the early half of the site.
So Pulvi's aware that a lurk is still on the A site. It's either him or Lightning Fast that can hold that. Pulvi's going to leave it up to his teammate, regroup on B.
Shock darts to clear out utility.
All
or
over
just
towards middle.
hand them off.
Oh, Pulvi he was ready for it.
Laz wanted to make it happen, though. If he did, then there may have been some rotations. But here comes Pulvi and Lightning Fast now.
I don't know if
They
suspects that
def
this is gonna be
changed
a
the
double.
observer from
Lightning
last year.
just
This
a
is
jiggle.
not the same
I
guy.
don't mind it. Doesn't greed for the kill.
Oh,
But that means they're trapped in B.
exactly.
Defense knows.
They have to push up front. And as long as Russ, Benkai, and Blaze King can defend B well enough, they're going to run out of time. The pressure is on. And off of the cascade, they push up. Euron and Hiruron. How do they make it happen? All 3 players down. Depth now coming through. All that's left is Lightning
Spike
Fast.
planted.
And a Russ that is running out of battery, running out of juice.
Get out of my
Last
Finds the
player
angle,
standing.
finds the shot, but oh god, Bladestorm now propped up. That's a tough target to hit. Okay. Just a bit of a whiff here and there, and then you're on to secure that final nail in the coffin.
Okay.
13-7. ZETA Division clears this out.